The first way, it was even better than now. Now there is very, 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 very bad.
When it rains, the rain always fill here with water, mosquitoes all over the place.
The name of the company is a Sisala word called Batuawese. Batuawese in Sisala means they are not God. So it gave me a sense that this owner is from the area. And when I did my checks, I got to know who exactly the owner was.
I know there's a process to unearth who the director of a company is. And so there's a legal process. But what I can state as a matter of fact is that I personally is not a director of the company. There will be conflict of interest. Once it's your brother or even any close associate, you have interest. You want the success of the person.
Tumu is a small village in the Upper West region. The roads here are terrible. Gullies, ditches and gutters formed in the middle of the road, making this narrow stretch difficult to maneuver.
When it's time for customers to come and buy things, if you are not lucky, they will wet all your body with dirty water.
However, on 22nd July 2019, Batosi Company Limited was awarded a contract by the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council to rehabilitate 5.7 kilometers of selected roads in Tumu. The contract sum was over 12 million cedis. The Batosi Company Limited was supposed to have gone to the site on 22nd November 2019. The firm issued its notice to commence work on 5th December 2019 and complete the road projects on 4th June 2021. 8 weeks after the commencement, the company failed to mobilize to site to commence work, contrary to its program of work. Today, the bridges constructed by the contractor remain flooded and partially buried under weeds. The culverts are choked with silts and weeds. It has left in its trail dissatisfaction and agony to many traders who ply their trade in Tumu and in the Sisala East District. The Upper West Department of Urban Roads Office pegs the progress of work at less than 2%. Nashiru Nashara, a trader, says the current state of the road is affecting their business.
When it's time for customers to come and buy things, if you are not lucky, they will wet all your body with dirty water. Even mosquitoes, the way they bite us here, you can't even sit for 5 minutes. You yourself, I hope you can see. Now whether it's damp, it's river, we don't know. We don't know. First, like if they even leave the road, the first way, it was even better than now. Now there is very, 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 very bad.
This assertion was corroborated by a middle-aged trader, Mumuni Maria. She's appalled by the state of the road and wants swift government intervention.
I won't be another one. Oh, yeah, well,
that when it rains, customers always come back, not as much as how it was to be first.
This road contract was awarded to the Batosi Company Limited barely 3 months after the Roads and Highway Ministry issued the company with a certificate to commence work. According to records from the Registrar General's Department, the Batosi Company Limited was set up on the 12th of April 2017, barely a month after Parliament's Appointment Committee approved the nomination of the then Deputy Upper West Regional Minister Amidu Ishahaku Chania. The directors of the company were Abdul Basak Chania, the Deputy Minister's brother, Ulatunji Amuda, his cousin, and Dimbi Yaya, his driver. A Executive Director of Community Development Alliance Ghana, Salifu Isifu Canton, has been advocating the rehabilitation of the selected town roads. As an indigene of Tumu, he says the frustrations of the people are evident in their disappointment in successive governments. But according to him, the state of the roads and the circumstances surrounding how the contract was awarded raised concerns of conflict of interest.
In fact, when I had conversations with the people I knew to be behind that company, because the name of the company is a Sisala word called Batuawese. Batuawese in Sisala means they are not God. So it couldn't have been any other person who had registered a company and put the Sisala name there. It would look weird because Sisala is not a very common language in Ghana. It's actually a minority language. So it gave me a sense that this owner is from the area. And when I did my checks, I got to know who exactly the owner was. And I was convinced beyond doubt that the owner was somebody who also have a duty of care to actually ensure that that particular road contracts were done as part of his schedule, as part of his work. And he has supervisory jurisdiction over ensuring that that government initiative succeeded. And then he found himself also as an actor who he's supposed to supervise. That's with the capacity to actually play that actorship role in the delivery of the road.
He said that selected town roads earmarked for rehabilitation is a game changer and in opening up Tumu Township to business.
For those particular roads, they were really critical roads that will open up the town and be of significant benefit to the people. Some of them were connecting town roads, access to the market, the main market center, which have no access routes except a few very crowded areas. But through the Chief Palace, the main entrance to the Chief Palace, there's a link that accesses the Tumu main market. Part of it was part of the road. If you go to a place we call Mandela Road, there's a bridge there. In fact, I just saw yesterday it's heavily flooded. There was supposed to be a bridge there that opens up that place and links the daily market through the Nyaminjan corridor.
Project manager Alhaji Keba Mahama is the contractor who worked on the bridges and culverts. He says the contract was sublet to him by Dimbi Yaya, the driver of the deputy regional minister. He says work has stalled because of funds, but that was not a promise made to him when he was first contracted to take up the project.
Well, what he told me was that this is the contract and he realized that what he was expecting to get, like the chances is not clear to him. If I could come and do it, well, that'll be fine. I said no problem. So I came in. Before I came in, the time has already gone.
So this contract, was there any paperwork or it was by word of mouth from Yaya?
Well, there was a paperwork.
And when were you expected to complete it?
Yeah, I took the contract with regard to the contract duration, but I realized that the payment was not coming. That delayed the whole process. Otherwise, I don't think the time would have been a factor.
When Joy News contacted the Roads and Highway Ministry for details on the project, the acting chief director, Dr. Abbas Awulu, said the contract was awarded through open competitive tender and was advertised in the Ghanaian Times. 3 firms brought the tender documents and submitted same on the closing date. On the question of how a company with no track record in road construction was awarded this contract, he said the evaluation of tenders went through post-qualification exercise, and at the end of which the lowest evaluated tender, the Batuosi Company Limited, was recommended for the award of this contract by the Upper West Regional Entity Tender Committee. I quote extracts of this letter from the Roads and Highway Ministry. The process followed for awarding this contract was the National Competitive Tendering Processes as prescribed by the Public Procurement Act 2003. The threshold for awarding this contract was within that of the Upper West Regional Entity Committee and the Upper West Regional Tender Review Committee. On whether it was referred to the Procurement Authority for approval, the ministry said Act 663 does not prescribe reference for approval in national competitive tenders. There is even more. A memo obtained from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture dated 24th February 2020 said the Batosi Company Limited, owned by the Deputy Upper West Regional Minister, assessed farm inputs from the Planting for Food and Jobs campaign. The memo reads, per the arrangement, the company paid 1,330,000 of the cost of the subsidized inputs, leaving an outstanding balance of 1,330,000 to be paid after harvesting of farm produce. But several reminders from the acting director of the crop services at the Agric Ministry said Osei Akoto for the company to pay the outstanding balance proved futile. The memo addressed to the Upper West Regional Minister, Dr. Hafiz bin Saleh, was for him to impress on his then deputy to pay the balance owed to the Agric Ministry. When Joy News caught up with the Director of Crop Services, said Osei Akoto, he said the ministry has engaged with the Deputy Sanitation Minister and Member of Parliament for Sisala East to structure a payment plan to offset the outstanding balance of over 1.3 million cedis.
The ministry has taken the necessary steps to engage the then Deputy Regional Minister how to structure the payment, so it is being done.
Currently, Amidu Ishahaku Chanian is the Deputy Sanitation Minister and MP for Sisala East. The big questions are, why will the memo address him as the owner of Batosi Company Limited? How did his driver, cousin and brother form a company which secured a road contract with the Upper West Coordinating Council when he was the then Deputy Minister for the same region? When Joy News contacted Amidu Ishaku Chanian, he admitted that he knows the directors of Batosi Company Limited, but categorically denied influencing any of the processes leading to the award of the contracts.
Like I have said, I know the owner, and I wouldn't want to speak about the directors per se, because I know there's a process to unearth who the director of a company is. And so there's a legal process. But what I can state as a matter of fact is that I personally is not a director of the company. I am not a director of the company. But as to those you have mentioned, I know all the people you have mentioned, but I wouldn't want to speak to the directorship of the company.
The Deputy Minister also pointed out that when the company was bidding for the road contract at the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council, he was not aware of the directors of the company. This was 2 clear years away from when the Batosi Company Limited won a contract under the Planting for Food and Jobs campaign at the Agric Ministry. The ministry had linked him to the Batosi Company Limited.
When this company bidded for a road contract, when you were a deputy minister at the time, did you at any point in time make it clear to the tendering committee or the ministry that you knew the directors of this company that was bidding for a contract when you were then a deputy minister at the regional ministry?
At the time, I had not had any information as to who the directors of the company were. It is when this issue came up that I heard the names, but I mean, I didn't know the directors of the company, so I wouldn't know who was a director and who is not a director of a company that comes to do business at the ministry. So, I mean, you only declare your association or your knowledge when you know who is a director of the company. But like I said, at the time, I didn't know the directors of the company. But later, these names came out, and I mean, I have no reason to doubt it, but at the time I didn't know.
How close are you with your brother?
My brother is he's my brother.
And he didn't at any point in time tell you that in 2017 he was forming a company, especially a company that had the Sisala name?
Well, he's an adult, so it's not everything. He discusses some matters with me, but it's not every matter that he discusses with me. And I have also asked, he's the director of the company, as you say, but probably not involved in the daily management of the company's business. So he wouldn't even know what they were doing at the time.
So what role does he play in the company?
I can't unless I talk to him.
But did he at any point in time tell you about this company when the name started coming up?
Yes, when I got the information, certainly I interacted with him. He's my brother.
Responding to the Greek ministry's claim that he is the owner of the company, he indicated that his brother, cousin, and his driver, who are the directors of the company, have written to the ministry to correct the error in that claim. But that evidence is yet to be submitted to the news team after we placed a request to him.
Let me say that I am not the owner of the company. The director of the company has written to the Ministry of Agric indicating the ownership of the company, and I am not. I can state for a fact that I am not the owner of the company.
We spoke with the Agric Ministry, and they indicated that they spoke with you and that a payment structure has been agreed on how to pay some outstanding balance with the Planting for Food and Jobs program, which the company won but had some outstanding balance to pay. How do you respond to this?
Well, when I saw the document, I made contact with the director of the company, and I mean, it came out that there was some contract between the company and Ministry of Agric, which they paid 50% of the money they were supposed to pay, leaving an outstanding amount of 50%. And so I drew the attention that I wasn't the owner, but I know the owner, and we've had discussions, and they've agreed on some scheduled plan payment. So that is the discussion that actually took place between myself and the ministry. But like I said, I am not the owner, but of course I know the owner of the company.
A tax profile from the Ghana Revenue Authority cited by Joy News investigative team revealed that in 2018, the Batosi Company Limited paid tax of 600 cedis. In 2019, they paid 780 cedis. In 2020, they paid 3,488 with their tax credits. But there is an outstanding tax of 3,250 cedis the company was supposed to pay in 2021. It has, however, not paid pay as you earn for its directors from October 2019 to October 2021. A tax audit of the company's contract from 2017 to 2021 by the GRA further revealed that the company is expected to pay a payable tax of 938,493 cedis. In essence, the Batosi Company Limited has not been paying tax on these government contracts. Touching on the GRA tax audit, he said the conclusion that the company was not paying the right taxes are questionable because the directors of the company say they pay taxes at source. This is a Joy News investigative report.